Hello, everyone. We've just completed another monster, the matte black 2016 G63 G-Wagon 6x6. Let me show you what we've done with it. I believe it's our best project yet, especially when it comes to 6x6 G-Wagons. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Let's take a look.
Hey, don't call me up, I know you know what you did, so I'm turning the radio up. Don't wanna hear it's too late for apologize. Lately I've realized that what goes around comes back around. What goes around comes back around. You should never have to make excuses for his behavior towards you, the one he loses. I know they seem to understand now.
I think you've seen that this car was created with a very cool taste, entirely anti-chrome. You can see the step bars, exhaust tips, and rear bumper. Everything was stripped down and powder coated. The moldings, including the lower ones, were also powder coated. There are a lot of delicious details here. Let's go through it step by step. In the front, we have the 2022 style updates, new fenders, hood, and, as you can see, blacked out headlights. The front bumper and rear bumper have been replaced. We've installed a Brabus lip. This lip is made for the new G-Wagon, but we've adjusted it to fit our old G-Wagon. There's a bit of extra work, but we made it fit perfectly. The front bumper has LED rings around the headlights, and there are light strips in the middle. These are really bright. We didn't use any Chinese lights because, as you know, they don't last long. There's a carbon fiber hood scoop made by our company, Wide Brabus. These are parts from the new G-Wagon. Then, we have Brabus carbon fiber snorkels in the new style. They are designed for the new G-Wagon but didn't originally fit these fenders. However, we have the skill to adjust them perfectly without any gaps. The fenders here are more spherical, unlike the straight ones on the old G-Wagon. We also have carbon fiber fender flares, again from our company, Brabus. We adjusted them precisely to fit the G63 bumper, which is quite different from the new bumper. There was a lot of fine-tuning to make it work. The lip under the G63 bumper is also made by Brabus. To install it properly, you need to be very precise and careful when cutting. A slight mistake, and you can't add carbon fiber. It's not like fiberglass. It's a meticulous craft. We repainted the entire vehicle, including the door frames, in matte black, and it looks really cool. This is a 10 out of 10 vehicle. This is probably my favorite, my G-Wagon will be. And you should definitely write in the comments what kind of individuality our customer wanted to emphasize. Something unusual. These are yellow badges, yellow rim accents on the wheels too. He wanted yellow springs in the front and 4 springs on the rear axle. Also, there must be yellow lettering. Write in the comments if it looks cool or not, and we'll move on. The mirrors are of a new design with spacers, as this is done on the original. The factory door sills were completely disassembled into small pieces, sandblasted, and powder coated. In other words, they won't wear out. On my personal G-Wagon, I've had these sills painted for 3 years, and there's no sign of wear. They serve incredibly well, and if it's powder coating, these moldings under the doors, you know that in 2 to 3 years, they start to get damaged somewhere. The customer wanted to install carbon fiber here, no problem. They're installed here with an electric lighter. But if you don't remove the sills, it's a good thing. The moldings around the perimeter, you know this one and this one, are our own production. Of course, they needed to be painted. But to prevent them from standing out in color, because the paint is fresh, and here it's a century-old paint, so we completely refreshed them all around, and now it looks like everything's brand new.
Don't call me up, I know you know what you did, so I'm turning the radio
Fender flares. You might think, what could go wrong here? In reality, I've seen a lot of G-Wagons being modified into 6x6s with both original and homemade parts, and some people even manage to install original parts crookedly. These fender flares can be bent like this or misaligned, and one part can stick out more than the other, or be slanted. This is all visible even to a non-professional eye. Do you think I'm the only one noticing such defects? When you scrutinize a car, you see protrusions, sagging here, incorrect heights there, and curves slightly higher or lower. When you look at the original, everything is different. Be cautious, guys. I've said this many times in my videos. If you want to build something, make sure to visit the company, or come to us, or to someone else, and see the production process in person. Look at finished cars in person. Watching videos is one thing, but seeing it in person is completely different. I always invite everyone to come and see our projects in person. I'm personally 100% proud of them. I know, or rather, I'm sure that when I hand over this G-Wagon to our client, he will be 100% happy. There's nothing to nitpick here. In fact, I might even ask him if I can capture his reaction when he sees this car for the first time. Moving on, the roll cage is also made of stainless steel, fully welded, and powder coated. This means it's not just regular paint, it's the most durable paint. Even if you decide to take this car off-road and it gets scratched, there won't be any micro scratches, it's highly resistant. Using a pressure washer to clean it is like wiping the car with a dirty cloth. The roll cage could have been scratched here, but the fit and finish are impeccable. These are all factory fitted, as I've shown on all our G-Wagons. This is our pride, and here I'll show you as well. Let's take a closer look at our moldings. They are completely solid, they are not glued but bolted, so they won't come loose, no matter what. They won't peel off due to heat or cold, they won't chip or get damaged. I'll insert some footages where you can see. When you look at homemade projects, you should pay your attention to places where we had problems, or another professionals. For example, fender flares, moldings, frame, rear part. You can see here that the entire line is perfectly straight, just like a string. I've even seen where they assemble these cars using entirely original parts, purchasing the rear body panel, but they somehow manage to weld this car together as crooked as a banana. I just don't understand it. They charge people $600,000 for the work, and they still do it wrong. I absolutely do not want to compare their cars. Moving on, our rubber trim, this fender flare, fits against the body using factory rubber. It's solid and brand new. It fits perfectly and lies flat. I'm not just saying this, it's laid flat here. Always pay attention to these details, because we go to great lengths to ensure that it fits perfectly after our installation. What's also interesting is that there are some canisters in the wheel arches, these are air receivers. We have an air inflation system installed, and there are 4 air receivers behind the wheels and in the cabin. There are many sensors, buttons, and so on. I'll show you a bit later what's inside the cabin. And on our rear part, there's a yellow inscription and yellow badges as per the customer's request for 2022. The rear lights are installed, and the rear bumper has additional fuel tank protection, just like the original 6x6. There are 2 additional pipes, these are extra bumpers. If someone doesn't know, they are also powder coated. So, there won't be any problems over time. The rear door, as I've shown you 100 times, has a perfect fit. All the contours match, and the gaps from top to bottom are entirely consistent with no issues. The handles, hinges, and locks are all completely original from the 6x6. I've shown you more than one G-Wagon before, and I want to show you how we beautifully upholster the rear body here. It's as neat as an interior, very, very precise. For some, the attitude towards the rear body might not matter, but for us, it should be perfect everywhere we've worked. The board here is laid out, and it's one that's not afraid of water, sun, or snow, absolutely nothing. All the fasteners are like the originals, and these self-tapping screws, if someone thinks they look homemade, they are done just like the original. All these metal brackets are completely sandblasted, and we made them to fit entirely, from the very bottom to the edge. All the corners are welded, and the seams are polished and powder-coated in a matte black, as this vehicle is completely anti-chrome. It all needs to look good, including the rear. On the floor, we also have these rails, which I call them. This means you can secure some cargo using straps and special locks. The spare tire is attached here, as per the customer's request. You can make a special attachment to the wall or simply place it at the bottom. You don't need to remove the spare tire, you can keep it there as you wish. And a few more words about the rear wall. As I mentioned before, we're currently working on a 2022 G-Wagon, and it's quite challenging to weld a wall like this, especially without using much filler. There is some filler here, but it's minimal. The maximum layer is about half the size of a matchstick, and I consider that to be practically nothing. Even that minimal filler is present in some places, while in others, there is absolutely none. The surface is completely smooth, and we've used the most tested and expensive primers that will not cause any issues for years. In general, the vehicle is built just the way you like it. And of course, I love all the fits at the rear. We've perfectly fitted the carbon flares to the new bumper without any sealants or anything, because the original doesn't have any rubber seals there. Rubber should only be between the body and the fender flares and near the bumpers. There should be nothing from the factory. All the control arms in the rear have been completely welded, powder-coated, and fitted with new bushings. Absolutely everything, from the washers to the nuts and bolts, was zinc-coated. So, we've paid attention to absolutely everything. The 3 axles, along with the portals, were sandblasted, coated with epoxy primers, and then painted with a matte black polyurethane paint. This is the same highly durable acrylic paint used on the exterior and interior. The vehicle is built on German portals from the company T-Bus, and the middle original axle is the same as the one used on the H6 at the factory. We've also changed the main gear because it has more traction. Here, all 3 axles have the same gearing. Now, let me show you how the axle lock engages in a G-Wagon 6, just like the factory setup. First, we shift to neutral and engage low range. Then, the lock can be activated, which is all according to factory standards. Let me show you what happens when it's not engaged. I'm in neutral, someone else can activate the differentials. Now, in high range without any lock, let's see which wheel is easier to turn. You can see the front axle is easier to turn. If you stop it, both rear wheels will turn. You can stop one more, and that's how the factory transfer case works. Now, we apply the brake, and I'll engage the middle differential lock. I'll let you know when to release it. You can see that the transfer case is locked, and the rear axle has also locked. There's a central differential lock and interaxle differential locks in all 3 axles. So, the vehicle moves forward with a jack under it. You don't need to do this, I just wanted to show you how the factory transfer case operates. On higher rang locks can't be enabled. Everything works by factory rules. Maybe you can hear that all this mechanism is very quiet.
Вообще бесшумно. Все класс. Выключить
Now, I'll disengage all the locks.
центральную раз.
You can do this gradually, one central, one rear, or one front, either forward or backward slightly.
Все три блокировки.
The locks can be easily deactivated, and this is all as per the factory design.
Просто мы сделали, в принципе, все по заводу.
By the way, inside the cabin, it's an absolute masterpiece. When I open the door, you'll be in shock.
В шоке. Ну а по салону, ребята, как
And as for the interior, guys, as you can tell, we really put a lot of effort into it.
разбиралось.
We completely disassembled everything in the interior and added full sound and vibration insulation.
Мы перетянули.
The dashboard has been reupholstered in yellow Napa leather, and the door trim is also entirely reupholstered, but in the center, there are Alcantara inserts with the stitching the customer requested.
Пожелал клиент.
We made sure the upper frame of the doors is yellow.
Чтобы они были.
The headliner has been reupholstered in original yellow Alcantara.
Полка тоже.
And, of course, in keeping with our tradition, we installed a starry sky inside.
Традиции мы установили сюда звездное небо.
The seats have been moved back as far as possible, about 30 centimeters, creating a spacious rear seating area, similar to a Maybach.
Реально коленями ты
It's so roomy that you'll never have to worry about your knees hitting the front seats.
по спецзаказу.
We had special custom floor mats made from a water-resistant faux leather that can be easily cleaned at the car wash. They are accented with yellow stitching.
По стилю, как у салона всего.
The carpet has been entirely replaced to eliminate any cuts or irregularities.
Мы полностью заменили весь ковролин автомобильный.
The rear wall, the partition, is upholstered in Alcantara, and the side trim is also done in Alcantara.
Абсолютно все смотрится как заводское. Куда б ты
Everywhere you look, we've put in the effort to ensure a perfect fit.
боковые обшивки тоже алькантары, вот эти боковые стойки тоже алькантарами перешили.
I'll provide more shots so you can see that we genuinely put in the work.
Побольше дам кадров, чтобы вы видели, что мы действительно стараемся. Обязательно
Be sure to comment if you notice anything.
заметили.
There is absolutely no sign of any uneven or crooked work or visible seams or welds. We do not tolerate any kind of makeshift craftsmanship.
Конечно же, у нас
The sunroof is fully functional in our vehicles because the engine is located at the back.
целый, не поломанный
We've installed it, and the cable is intact. It's not broken.
в салоне.
Of course, there is carbon fiber lamination in the interior.
Потому что этот
There was some wood here before, but I can't recall anymore because this project was quite extensive and lengthy.
авто заламинирована
The frame has been entirely laminated with carbon fiber.
эта часть тоже ламинат.
The steering wheel is also fully laminated with carbon fiber on top and bottom, and we reupholstered it in yellow Napa leather.
Напа.
So, boys, both the exterior and interior look amazing, very upscale.
Ну, очень
It's quite spectacular, but not very practical because yellow leather probably needs to be cleaned after around 10 or 15 trips.
нужно будет почистить.
The seats may wear quickly because of the bright leather color.
И вот эти вот ручки.
Additionally, the handles might wear out rapidly due to the color of the leather, but it's very vibrant.
У нас еще один
Above, we have a tire inflation system installed.
такой
All the buttons, sensors, and everything are the same as the G63 6x6. The frame up there is also identical, not a step left or right. Everything should be exactly like the factory G-Wagon 6x6, which costs $1 million.
Ни шаг влево, ни шаг вправо. Все должно быть точно так, как на заводском гелике 6х6, который стоит $1 миллион.
So, here's our G-Wagon 6x6 in matte black. In my opinion, it's a very impressive and beautiful project. Be sure to comment and let us know if you think it turned out beautifully or if you'd change anything to suit your taste. I'm looking forward to your feedback, it's very important to me. Now, for the first time in our history, we can show you how we delivered this vehicle and how the client received it.
Sergey, look at this perfect work. Everything is new. Oh my God. Very accurate work. I was worried about this place and you made it perfect. Well done, guys. Look at this car.
Everything perfect, as always.
I think this car looks newer than the original ones from the factory. Seriously, she's very beautiful. Let's open the door and look. I haven't seen the interior before. Wow. Oh my God. I don't have words to describe this. Look how neat it is. This is a real skill. My tongue is numb from this beauty. It seems to me that the door has become heavier.
This is noise reduction.
That's cool. Everything is done very carefully. Your work is a masterpiece.
Yes.
Look at the roof, mirror. Everything is as it should be. Very good work, guys.
Do you recognize the car?
No. Before the conversion, this car was completely different.
Everything has been redone.
Just look at this girl. Well done, boys. I have never seen such a G-Class that had such precise gaps. Well done, boys. Well done. I'm still shocked.
I'm still shocked.
I think I will sleep in this car my whole life, I think. Also, I like the hood spoiler and bumper. Also, those black headlights.
Headlights already calibrated, everything works.
Wow. I can't believe.
How about body paint?
Good, beautiful. Sasha, I didn't even think about the bad paint job. Well done. You also made a spacer for the mirrors.
Yes.
Everything works, yes?
Of course.
Look at those snorkels.
Those snorkels were made for older fender flares and we remade them for those.
Good. The coolest steps I've ever seen. Well done. I also want to look at the back.
Please, easily hold a tailgate, it's heavy.
Wow. Oh, spare wheel. You made it exactly as I ordered, but even better.
Але ще набагато ліпше, як я думав. Це
Well
дуже,
done.
дуже добре, що так вийшло. Знаєш,
Whenever I ordered something, I received it worse than in the picture. But now, I will say that it is always better to receive better than expected. Can I stand on this plate?
Yes, everything is made from stainless steel and painted with powder paint.
There will be no rust.
You're right. Also, this wood is special and not afraid of water or something else.
Alex, do you like it?
Where is mine? I want the same G-Wagon.
Let's make a deal then.
В процесі все буде так же.
супроводжали зараз.
Very cool car. I'm shocked by the work you made.
We did our best.
Thank you. Well done.
Дуже класно. Так що спасибо.
Thank you again for your time. Thank you for the project you built.
Я кажу, уділили час дуже довго, але
You made it
дійсно
as you
зробили
promised
так,
me.
як ви пообіцяли.
Most people don't
Люди
keep their promises.
обіцяють, а роблять
And you
гірше,
did
ніж
even better
обіцяли.
than you
Так що
promised me.
ще ліпше, що ви пообіцяли.
Every
Всі,
gap
я
is
кажу,
perfect.
Зазори, все. Отлично. Все,
Everything as it should be.
все.
I'm very glad.
Радий, я думаю, що
I think that driving will also be a pleasure.
Задоволений.
Time will show everything. But the car will drive. Every part is verified and everything works without problems.
Супер.
All is good.
It's good that the client is happy.
Конечно, я видео,
All this
я
time, when I woke up, instead of turning to my wife, I went to your Instagram and looked to see if there were any new posts about my car. When I usually order a car, I just wait from 6 months to a year and it's in my garage.
6 місяців, рік чекаєш на приходи і все. Це
But here I just look at Instagram and see the whole process of building a car, and it's very interesting to watch it.
строїться, будується і що ви робите за неї, то дуже цікаво. Так. Цей процес.
This whole process was very interesting.
Так що,
Thank you for everything.
супер.
In short, our client is a Ukrainian who moved to America at a young age and, over the years, achieved significant success. He's become the owner of impressive cars like this G-Wagon 6x6. It's clear that he's a millionaire, and he wanted to add this G-Wagon 6x6 to his car collection. I believe we've turned his dream into reality with this project. That concludes the video, everyone. Goodbye, and please share your comments.